Hello everyone, this is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I make a lot of videos about helping men in difficult situations, in the workplace, at school, in their relationships, understanding media, politics. Some people don't like the fact that I go into politics a little bit, but as I see it, I'm ethical, I'm moral, and that's what guides my, political decisions. So I'm not really into politics. In other words, I don't care which party is which. I don't care. I care which one of them acts consistent with principles of freedom and free market. So it's not really political. It's moral. It's ethical. But in any case, it's very hard to put out videos. I make a lot more videos than you guys see that I make because YouTube claims that, they're unacceptable, they're unsuitable. And I'm really not allowed to if I put them out, I risk getting additional community guideline strikes. And I already have community guideline strikes put upon me by guys who just came into MGTOW and decided that they were going to take MGTOW over and shut down all the existing, public MGTOW channels. That's not the right word. Community access, like, MGTOW channels, something like that. You guys know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So very difficult putting out these types of videos that are trying to help men in the workplace, in social situations, in media, attacked endlessly for putting out these types of videos on all sides, from the mainstream media, from the status quo, from the gynocracy, and from within the manosphere community itself. Because, these young guys that are fresh into MGTOW, they're the true MGTOW. They're the only ones who can, and they use these tactics of feminists where they come in and they claim to be men that need help. They play the victim and then they betray the trust and use slander and lies. And it's destroyed, a lot of really great MGTOW channels. So, and it's made it nearly impossible for me to get by here on YouTube anymore. So I'm putting out this type of content and it's getting flagged and it's getting restricted by YouTube. And given the razor's edge that I'm on, if I leave it out there, I risk getting shut down completely. And all I'm trying to do is put out a message that's beneficial and helpful towards men. I love the idea of helping men make money online, but I'm not allowed to talk about it because I would have never imagined such a violent, hateful, destructive reaction from other men to the idea of helping other men make money. I mean, this really was the whole crux of the situation, and is the whole crux of the situation. They want men isolated and alone and desperate and without a means to support themselves. And the younger men, they virtue signal. They want to win favor with the group. And so they undercut the other men. They destroy the other men. So it's very hard to put a message out that is helpful towards men. And the closer I got to doing that, the more heat that I got on all sides. So I'm thinking that we should make videos on how to help women, on why women are so great. Why women are so perfect. Top 5 reasons that women are perfect. Top 5 reasons why you should sacrifice for those who do not sacrifice for you. Top 5 reasons why you should work for free. Top 5 reasons why a man should never make money. Top 5 reasons why a man should never disagree with the group. A whole new set of videos from a whole different perspective. So I'm thinking that I'm going to have to go my own way. That making videos that try to help men understand their position in a gynocracy is actually hurtful towards men, or at least that's the message. Actually, that's bullshit. These young men are trained to be champions of the gynocracy, so they come in and they betray MGTOW. In other words, the most difficult message to put out is a positive message for men, and that's what I do. And being attacked by other men makes it nearly impossible. So I really am attacked on all sides. I really am attacked from without and from within. And I can't see a way for men to make progress. I cannot see a way for myself to make progress, and I cannot see a way for men to make progress. In other words, a recent video, how do you keep your job in a blue pill world? And the answer is you agree with the blue pill world. You go along with their values. You don't disagree with them. You don't go your own way. Because if you do, you offend the group and the group kicks you out and you don't have your job anymore. And it's not a question of how good you are at your job. It's a question of how well you get along with people that are willing to use those tactics. And these are the tactics that are being used by other men within MGTOW. And the only reason why they're in MGTOW is because we accept them within MGTOW on the premise that they are suffering from a gynocentric world. But they're not. They're carrying out, the will of a gynocentric world and destroying men along the way. And putting a message out of helping men in the various spheres of their lives, of modern life, so that they can be productive and have a fulfilling life of purpose and meaning, okay? Just because you've lost that doesn't mean that it isn't available for other men, right? So this is what's being taken away. And you might think, oh, well, that's not important. But it is what motivates you. It is what gets you up in the morning. It's not just the material gain that you're getting up for, right? That's an animal's task. It is the principles and the plans and the intention and the will that you have for the future that's motivating you, when you're not really thinking about it, when you're just waking up in the morning, unless you are just a beast of burden, and again, trying to put them, and that's what the system wants you to be, okay? It wants you to be a hopeless, isolated beast of burden that will conform. It's deeper than you even imagine, okay? Because on an evolutionary basis, each generation of man in Western civilization is being picked based on his willingness to cooperate. So we're building, these highly intelligent, highly empathetic, highly altruistic men that are concerned with justice and empathy and results and being productive. Very principled values, okay? Virtues. And the reason why they're virtues is because they are so effective in objective reality. And everyone else, even, all the children coming up, are raised on a different principle, like a complete groupthink, a complete moral relativism. And it's completely opposed to the strong, independent, individual man. And it really is like, the difference between having a ship going in a direction with a purpose versus it's just flying around like a pinball. So it's important, right? Like you need this characteristic. Without it, some of you can see where we are going right now. And despite all of the efforts, it's going to be the rare instance of a man who actually gets a hold of himself, sets himself on track in life, towards a direction and a purpose that is meaningful and purposeful to him, and then he can pursue that with some success. It's going to be very rare. Most of the men are going to be workers, drones, consumers. What do you guys think about the new Star Wars movie? Why do you think, why do you think the most recent one failed, right? I could make videos like that. They would get a lot more views. Do you understand why? Yes, why Howard Dare has not done the Han Solo movie review yet? Have you figured out why I don't do that? Right, like some people call me a shill because I usually have a call for action somewhere in my videos. So I'm real curious, why do you think the new Star Wars movie, the Han Solo movie, has failed? It's very hard for some men to get ahead in the world, and it's very easy for some groups to get ahead in the world right now. It doesn't help that men, consumers, are attacking other men. This is what we have to contend with in a gynocentric world. Women controlling the narrative and exploiting the narrative, accusing men of, misconduct and misdeeds at every turn. It's not a competition of virtue. It's a race to the bottom. So I'm coming here into MGTOW and I'm trying to produce content that is helpful towards men. And there's a million ways to destroy that and to undercut that. It's very difficult for some people, and it's very easy for other people at this time. Some things are encouraged for you to have and to indulge in them. Have you seen the new Star Wars movie? And other things are shut down, have obstacles placed in front of them, have roadblocks placed in front of them at every opportunity. Can you figure out why? Can you figure out, what you should eat and what you should not eat? Can you figure out what media you should consume and what media you should not consume? It doesn't really behoove me to try to tell you anymore. Like, do you give people what they want or do you give people what they need? And if you try to give them what you think they need, they're just going to fight. Or do you give people what they want, which is not necessarily good for them? This is another message from the system. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you, everyone.